Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Bite Size Branding live show. My name is Bernard Kassab, and as always, I am joined with my awesome co-host, Mr. Grant Tom, who surprisingly is in Sydney, not where I am, but he's in Sydney, and he didn't tell me. So I get to find out by surprise this morning at a breakfast that I was catching up with another person who is from the Gold Coast. So somehow he knew before I knew that Grant was going to be in town, but Grant is actually in town with an event or a group called the Elite Marketers through Scott Bayswater. He's brought a bunch of people together from around the nation, really. So it's going to be a pretty exciting show. Grant's going to share some insights and learnings about what's going on there, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's ramping up towards the end of the year. But before we jump into anything, Grant, mate, introduce yourself and tell us how the show is going to break down today.
Fantastic. Well, Bernard, thanks very much for the introduction to our viewers. And I'm a head fire starter. And what that means is that I basically help businesses to grow and scale their ideas and therefore make value for their clients, is ultimately with the view to try and enhance and try and get better value for other people. The way the show works is that normally Bernard and I ask each other a question. Normally we have a guest, and therefore we have the timer. The timer is there to stop us from waffling and going too long. Therefore we've got to be precise. We've got to be on point, and we've got to know our stuff. And if not, we get knocked up by the other person who butts us out and starts to add more value. So that's basically the format of the show. It's been a long time since Bernard and I have run a show together, but I think let's go ahead and do it.
Two of us. Yeah. We haven't done a dynamic duo show for a while. Yeah, the old school format, 5 minutes. Now it's not that.
Is it just the two? Yeah.
Ooh. Sorry, what was that? You're lagging a little bit. I don't know if you've.
Isn't there a song called "Just the Two of Us"?
Just the two of us. You can make it if you try. Yeah, there's definitely a song. There's definitely a song, and that like officially went down to 0 viewers. Okay, never to return again.
Yeah.
Mate, awesome. Let's jump into it. Let's get this ball rolling. Let's get this show on the road. That's what it is. Let's get this show on the road. Mate, I'll pass it over to you. What do you want to share? What's something that you've picked up from the Elite Marketers that you feel will be of value? Yeah.
I think one of the things that's really a big takeaway from this, the close on 60 guests here today, all experienced marketers. And they're all sharing their expertise and their experiences with the view to collaborate, with the view to understand new trends in the marketplace. So it's just been a full day of brainstorming, lots of note-taking. Phones had to be off. You couldn't sit there being on your phone. You had to really get in and participate. But at the end of the day, we just unbundled gold the whole day today. So that's been a fantastic format. So tell me when you're going to hit the clock, and then we can start to get into what
I'm ready to rumble. Boom. Tell us what's been going on.
Okay, excellent. Well, Elite Marketers has been run by Scott Bayswater for a number of years. He's a great copywriter. I've known him quite well over the COVID period. And today was the first time I got to meet him face to face, and a couple of other very distinguished guests within the group. And so he's had a good couple of speakers coming along with the view to just talk and unbundle what they know. But the one thing that really got to me was the most. They had a gentleman, very subdued, low, not anyone that's got high energy by no means, but a fantastic gentleman who got to just unbundle YouTube. And it doesn't matter if you had a YouTube channel or if you didn't. As long as you were an expert in what you did, there was an opportunity for you to be able to work hard and be able to use your content to have it created in multiple forms, in multiple ways, with the view to generate traffic, with the view to get recognized. YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the marketplace. So one of the things that we look at is how best do you get found, and therefore his content's been relevant. So he did a lot of work within the golf space. He loved golf. So he traveled the world, went to the best golf courses, interviewed guests. And once again, he's getting close to 530,000 views on a 9-minute video. And of course, there's multiple ways of going about it in the sense of doing shorts and putting other things together as well. So that's basically very much what I think is great value to take away from the show, is that anyone out there that is an expert or expertise or has skills to share or sell, put content together with the view of displaying what your services are and the value, with the view to ensure that you can display them and educate the marketplace. Often that word that I use, edutainment, plays just right in this space, 100%, with the view that you don't have to be wacky. You can just be serious. You just have to. You don't need to go for high production, but you just need to make sure that your content is relevant.
And is that what he is that how he positions it, or how he produces his content? Is he doing informative content within the golfing space, or what's his niche, or what's his unique approach to it?
That's how he started. He's gone and scaled it up a lot more, and he's really created a huge profile. And he created a golf university. He's the only online golf university in the world, where people can come and learn the skills and have videos with the view to show and tell. But at the same time, his dream was to travel the world.
Oh, it looks like we have lost Grant. That is a unique experience, because now we don't even have to guess. So there he is. Now he's back. Yeah, you lost us for a second, but now you're back.
Bernard?
That way you know it's really live.
Bernard?
Yes, can you hear me?
Are you there?
I am here. Are you there?
Oh man, we're wasting so much time.
I know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're disappearing.
Oh, I don't know. Your screen is also gone black. I'm just going to add you back in and see if you come back. You don't come back. Oh no, we've lost you forever, Grant.
I can see you. I can see.
Oh, that's great. I wonder if everyone else can see us.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know. If somebody's listening at the moment, send us a little message. Let us know if you can see Grant.
Well, I can see.
Let's use the rest of this minute. So tell us a little bit more. So you were saying just before it froze. Is it specifically around the golfing space, or is it what's his niche?
Well, look, his niche is golf. That's his passion. But he's gone and created his skill set into a number of other things, and basically what he offers his services to is with the view to explain to people how to utilize video. And I think we should get him on to be one of our guests. I really do.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he's got some phenomenal information that he wants to share.
And we'll just go through the whole membership of elite marketers.
Go through the whole membership. There's some great people, to come on. But I've got some other people I can mention in the next segment. But basically, I just really was blown away by how powerful YouTube can be, how inexpensive it is to execute, and how much you can actually doesn't take up a lot of time as long as you commit to it.
Is he using a lot of the shorts now as well? Is that where he's getting a lot of bang for buck, or how effective are shorts?
Yeah, shorts are playing a big role, but also putting them into a form of a series so that you actually go long over time, but by choice. No.
Oh, interesting.
So you build it like a series, but you do have a lot of shorts. So if you want to continue, you can. But 9 times out of 10, you do, because it's so good,
Yeah, got it. So like the short it's like a tease, like not a teaser. It's actually a full episode, but you're watching it in part.
Yeah.
So you can kind of choose your and people loving, like, it's essentially tapping into that binge culture that is there out there now. People are loving looking at.
The most successful segments are 3 to 5 minutes, which is very much what our show is about. Okay, we talk in 3 to 5 minutes, and basically we must get to the point and make it relevant. And if people want to stay tuned, well, then we get on to our next question. We get on to the next segment, which is his next reel, and off we go. So yeah, shorts is definitely playing a big role in breaking things down rather than going long, hoping someone's got a lot of time to spend paying attention to your show.
Nice. I like it. We should see if we can do that with our show. Cut it into little shorts and then put it up as
I think so.
Leveraging that YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
I
think so.
I'll get my team on it. Cool, man. Well, yeah, let's jump into the next one. What's something else, a golden takeaway that you've had over the past day?
Well, the next one is, you want to get the clock ready, or you want to?
Oh, yeah. I'll hit it right now.
I know you're so absorbed, you're forgetting about the clock today. So the next one was basically about a gentleman, and his role is with the view to, his name's John Dwyer, and he gives away like loyalty in the sense of doing a deal, and he gives away free holidays. And he was explaining how people love free holidays as an incentive in a particular package. So therefore, for companies to be able to want to get involved and buy a bunch of holidays that you put into your offer, so that when someone buys you, you can say, well, thank you for buying my product, and because you've been such an awesome client, I'm going to give you a free holiday.
Got it.
And of course, it makes them feel good, something to go home to the family to, something to work out. Yes, it's got a few restrictions. You can't go away on school holidays. You've got to pay the taxes when you go to America. But basically, most hotels run on spare capacity, so they have the opportunity to fill you up. So he's just banked on that, and he's just leveraged that into a very, very useful tool. So therefore, when people are buying something, they're getting a lot more than just the price of the product that they're buying, and getting a bit of a bonus with it as well. And I think it's just a little good value add, really, at the end of the day. And what I loved about it is that royalties and loyalties play a big role in keeping a relationship going with clients, or get incentives with the view to go. Now, the law is a bit vague. You may not offer and advertise with the view to create incentive to give someone a prize, but you're more than welcome to, when someone has bought something, to give them some value add in the transaction. So you may not advertise and say, buy this product and I'll give you a free holiday. But you can go turn around and say, hey, you bought this product, and because you bought this product, I want to offer you a free holiday. So once again, it was a very nice way of the perspective and the perception of how you put it together and built it. So what I enjoyed about that was that it was a great incentive, a great attention grabber, a great way to get more engagement, to understand the client. I think those kind of things play a very, very key role in building relationships with clients. And I think that's ultimately what this is all about, is knowing your customers, knowing what they want, giving them value, giving them extended value, but at the same time staying within the law as well.
Wow, interesting. I wonder if could you also use it to incentivize people to pay their invoice, like I've seen it where people, like, if you pay your invoice within the first week, you get 10% off. I wonder like within 7 days. I wonder if you could use it the same way. If you pay it within 7 days, you earn yourself a trip.
Yeah, that's a bit difficult. That's not just touching on the board of the law.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
You're allowed to give it as added value, but you may not advertise an incentive. Do this, and I'll give you that. That's the way.
Yeah. So you just can't publicly advertise it, but I could say it directly to them. Yeah. Got it.
But if you had a customer who paid, so I saw a campaign for Virgin this week that said, if you've booked the middle seats, you can win a prize.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, and it's been running for 20 days. And I thought, what is the worst seat on a plane? It's the middle seat. But if you turn around and you just made the campaign about the middle seat, with a view that, yes, it's a pain, we know, but just take it. We're going to give you something for it. I thought that was a great way of incentive of turning it on its head. So I just thought those are the kind of things that customers out there need to think of to build loyalty, to extend their brand, to create more further engagement, to have something that they share amongst their group and their friends and messaging. It's all about smart marketing right now. So it's about maybe taking the worst attribute of your business and someone who buys it, and therefore maybe doubling the value, in the sense of perceived value. I think that's the right word that you need to use here. Perceived value is ultimately which I think really gets those grunt purchases maybe not so badly taste in the person's mouth, but actually just a benefit in the sense of double value, perceived value.
Oh, interesting. Yes. And the challenge is how do you create that, like in every industry, right? Because our industries, it's easy when you have a tangible, and then you can attach a tangible to it. I wonder how a company like us who's more intangible or service based would be able to take advantage of. And I guess you would use it as a basically like a welcome on board. You could use it as part of the onboarding process.
Yeah, exactly.
They always say that. Like, I always remember I played a musical instrument all the way through primary school and high school, and they always used to say the two things that people remember. One is how it starts, and the other is how it finishes. What happens in the middle, is a mixed bag of whatever happens,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
and that's a great way of creating that impact. Either at the
Yes.
start or at the beginning or the end of the project, you give this unexpected, this surprise and delight. I remember when I used to work in incentives, that's what they called them, surprise and delight. It's unexpected and it adds a lot of value. It helps turn that relationship and cements the relationship. So
very much so.
interesting. What was the business called?
I know it's the Institute of Wow is what he calls his business.
The Institute of Wow. That's cool.
And it's John Dwyer.
Yeah, cool. John Dwyer, Institute of Wow. Yeah, very cool. Cool, man. Last question. We're blitzing it when you don't have a.
All right, I've got something different for you now. I've got something different for you now. Yeah. So you're gonna have to hit that clock for the last time.
Yes, sir. Not a problem. Consider it done.
All right. So this one's a little bit different. Okay. So this is about a gentleman. His name's Dan. I don't really know the name of his agency, but he runs a number of agencies, and he's very are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Can't you hear me?
Are you there? Are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Bernard?
This is the fun of a live show. You never know what's going to happen.
Geez, all right, let's bring this one home. So basically, his name's Dan. He runs this agency, but it was all about how he kept his staff incentivized and motivated. So this is now an internal question. It's an agency question. It's a how do you keep your agency? And it actually can go for anyone really who's running a big team. So he does it by keeping his team incentivized via gamification. Now, I think we should talk about this gamification, and I think Dan should come onto our show as well. Now, the whole point of gamification is the fact that we know that you can throw as much money as you like to staff. There comes a threshold where money is just non-relevant. We always say, yeah, we want money. But at the end of the day, some people just get to a point where they're just satisfied with what they've got and they're quite happy to go. And it's not always the most and biggest motivator. Maybe for you and I, money is the motivator. But for some people, the challenge of competing, the challenge of winning, the challenge of going up to different levels, the challenge of overcoming obstacles. And so therefore, it's about getting everyone in your team to be a team member within a game. And the whole game is designed with the view to make sure that you can bring about that people are doing their tasks and going forward. So say, for example, someone had to do something and there was a spelling error. Then maybe it's a case that someone has lost a few points, but if maybe someone saved the day, they can go up 2 levels, and basically he's designed it in such a way that when you get to the prize. Now, of course, it's hard to get to the top prize. And I think in the last 5 years, I think he's only had one person that's gone to the very top. But at the end of the day, what I like about it is that, the young market like to play games. They like to be in the game market. And once again, as much as you can put points and stars and scorecards and whatever, it's stuff that you can't see and you can't tangibly follow. So one of the things that I think is quite important is how this game gets produced, how it gets induced, how it gets educated with the view to make sure that everyone is staying up to speed with the view to ensure that they're doing their part of the job correctly in order to get to the very best attributes of refund or cash incentive, but playing it through games. And I just thought, wow, that's such a clever model in the sense of extending that into other forms of businesses where there are teams in that particular space. So I feel we should bring on this gentleman to come and unbundle gamification as to how that can be utilized. But he was just explaining today how he did it for his teams. And I've never thought of it that way. But I must be honest, it was not a bad suggestion to that of all the other incentives I've always come up with to try and keep people focused and motivated.
Would so does he put in things like does it work off their KPIs, like training
Yeah,
KPIs or behavioral
training
KPIs, and then when as they
KPIs,
hit them, yeah, cool,
jobs
cool.
jobs that need to be done for the day,
Ah,
tasks that
cool,
need to be done for the day, making sure you've
cool.
done your job correctly. It doesn't help the job goes out and there's a whole lot of spelling errors on it, type of stuff.
Yes.
Things like that.
Right.
So I just thought it was a different way of visiting a job task,
Mm,
with the view of putting it into a game that actually has levels and goals and prizes.
that's
And
funny.
therefore there's a challenge, and therefore makes that competitive nature within the company. It doesn't matter who you are as to what level you are in the company, but once again you can compete on an even scale. I thought it was great.
Yeah, wow. I'm trying to figure out how I would do that in my business. I'm like, oh, I wonder if I could create this in mine. So I've been around incentive programs before. The last agency I worked for did incentives. So it's very familiar space to me. I'm interested in how he's turned it, like gone to that next step where it's actually something that can be monitored and maintained through a business. That's what
Yeah,
I always find the hardest is, like, even with our time tracking and our project management and stuff, it's hard to get maintain the momentum to do it. If it was integrated or intertwined into a game, it was part of the process. Obviously, then it would be much easier for everyone to get into it. Right now, it feels like something else they have to do rather than part of what
correct.
they do. So
That's it.
that's where it's interesting. I really
Yeah.
think, yeah, it would be great to get him to do a little walkthrough, share the screen.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's very happy to do so, type of stuff.
Yeah,
So,
let's
so,
definitely do that.
so the thing that I've looked at today is that
Mm,
YouTube, being the fact that if you're a champion at something, make sure that you then broadcast it. Uh,
hmm
Loyalty in the sense of giving added value with the view to create engagement and added value, and then of
hmm
course gamification with the view to keep your team incentivized. So as much as I've said, it's been an extremely full day, but I think those are three of the top highlights that has happened at Elite Marketers through Scott Baywater.
mm,
And one of the things that I look at right now is what a great incentive and motivation of knowledge that I've just picked up with the view for inducing ideas to that of our
mm,
clients, but at the same time making sure that we can also think about things. So I think these three
mm.
guests have got to come onto our show and just unbundle
Yeah,
more about who and
yeah.
what we do.
I think it's interesting, right? Because, like, the three components you talked about is how business goes out to market through
Yeah,
YouTube, how the business supports their customers or
yeah,
creates that rapport with customers. So that's
yes,
how the relationship is maintained, and then how the you create more significant relationships or more significant behavior within the business. So it's kind of interesting because he tapped in like all three channels of the business. So inside with current relationships and going out to find new relationships. It's a
yeah.
very rounded
Internal,
show.
like keeping the
Very,
internal motivated.
yeah,
When you hire a
very
staff
rounded
member,
show. Yeah,
it is a hard job.
yeah,
And to keep a staff member is a hard job. And at the same time,
especially
to
these
train a
days.
new staff member is twice as hard. So therefore,
hmm
find the best method to keep your team on point, to deliver the very best attributes for the intent of the business. I think is ultimately what was the three giveaways today.
Yeah, man, that's great. Looking forward to those shows. I think we got to get these guys on for sure.
Absolutely.
Everybody, that was a super rapid show. You see how important it is to have good guest ideas. If anyone out there is listening and has a cool guest idea, says, "Hey, I want you to speak to this guy. He has a great business. Would love to feature them on the show, even if it's not marketing related." Every business is developing something that, or a creative idea or something outside the box. We'd love to feature them because it might spark that idea, that next innovation for somebody else in industry. So we're all
Yeah.
about passing around that unique perspective and information. Um, if you have a creative idea, something you'd want us to unbundle on the show, especially if it's controversial, Grant loves a good controversial topic, then fire it our way and we'll unbundle it. Please like, follow, and share. Grant, anything else you want to kind of throw in there? Any last little wraps on the show?
Well, basically, I just think last reps on the show is that just when you think you know it all, you don't. There's something always new
Yeah,
to learn. Okay, so
100%.
and I think it's about that's what business is all about. You need to pivot, you need to step up, you need to keep on pushing forward because as soon as you just sit still, you're going to be left behind because things are
Game
moving
over.
rapidly. So listen
Yes.
to the trend, and I think what I tried to bring across today, I don't think I did, but I think what I received today was a lot of edutainment, and what I tried to share was edutaining ideas that you can implement in your business. Not yours,
Definitely.
like Lucidity, like
Everyone's
Lucidity
business.
and
Yeah.
everybody else. Everybody's.
Everybody's business. Yeah. Amazing. Awesome, man. Well, as always, thank you so much for joining me. I'm looking forward to getting a guest on the next show. Let's talk to these guys. Let's get them on here and sharing these insights and this
Cool.
information. I think it's highly valuable. And to everyone else, we'll catch you on the next show.
Well, we'll catch you on to the next show, but don't forget to like, share, and send your questions, send your challenges. That's what we want.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you,
all
everybody.
right. Cheers
Have a
then.
good Thursday.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.